Okay, this is for Algebra 1, and this is a review over writing and graphing linear equations. Determine the slope of the line that passes through the pair of points. When you're given 2 points and you want the slope, you've got two choices. You can subtract the y's on top and the x's on bottom. So you would say 7 minus -4 over -3 minus 6. And you would get that 7 plus 4 is 11 over -9. Now I don't like the negative in the bottom, so that would be -11 over 9. The other way you can do this is go to Stat, Edit, and clear out your list. Remember to use clear, enter, not delete, and then put your points in. Your x values are at L1, so you would have 6 and -3 for L1. You would have -4 and 7 for L2. We go back to Stat, over to Calc, choose 4 for linear regression, go down and choose Calculate and press Enter. And A, -1.22, is your slope, -1.22. Okay, so you would say M is equal to. I will take either way, fraction or decimal. So number 2 is the same thing. So you could do it using the formula, which would be -6 minus -6 over 7 minus -2, which becomes 0 over 9, which is 0. If you want to check yourself, or if you just prefer to do it using the calculator, Stat, Edit. Your x values are -2 and 7. Your y values are -6 and -6. So then you would go Stat, Calc, 4, Enter, or go find Calculate and then Enter, and sure enough, A is 0, so my slope is 0. I will take it either way because obviously you get the same answer. Write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form, which means y equal mx plus b. Remember, your slope is your m, and then they gave us a point, which is your x and your y. Make sure that you put the y in for y. So you're going to use the formula they gave you, and instead of a y, you're going to say 4 is equal to your slope, which is 0, times x, which is -6, plus b. 0 times -6 becomes 0. It goes away, so 4 is equal to b. But you are not through. You have to use your slope and your y-intercept and actually write the equation. Y is equal to 0x plus 4, or if you don't like that 0x, you could just say y is equal to 4. Either of those is acceptable. All right, one that passes through 1, -4, and -6, 8. Easiest way to do this is to use your calculator and go to Stat, Edit. Put your x's in for L1, so we've got 1 and -6. Put your y's in for L2. We have -4 and 8. We go Stat, over to Calc, choose 4, go to Calculate, Enter, and we're going to round, and I'm going to let you do this. So -1.7x minus 2.3. -1.7x minus 2.3. You need to make sure and start it out with y equal to. If it passes through 7, -3, and has a slope of 2, y is -3, equals your slope is 2 times x is 7 plus b. -3 is equal to 14 plus b. You need to move the 14. It's very important that you remember when you cross that equal sign, you have to do the opposite. 14 is positive, therefore you subtract it. -3 minus 14 is -17 equals b. Don't forget to go back and actually write your equation. Y is equal to 2x minus 17. The 2 came from the original problem information that they gave you. Number 6, graph a line with x-intercept -3 and y-intercept of 2. So your x-intercept of -3, you just go to where x is -3. Y-intercept of 2, you go to where y is 2. Once you have 2 points, you can draw a line, go through both points all the way across the graph, and put arrows on the end. Going to the next page. Number 7, Graph a line with a y-intercept of 3 and a slope of negative 3/4. Y-intercept of 3 tells you to go up 3. Negative 3/4 tells you to go down 3 and right 4. So go back down 3 and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. And then draw a line, try to hit your points, cover the entire graph, put arrows on the end. Number 8, graph the line 4x minus 3y equal negative 9. You have to start by getting y by itself. So we're going to move this 4x. So negative 3y is equal to negative 9 minus 4x, because you do the opposite when you cross. I don't want a negative 3y, so I change every sign, and it becomes 3y is equal to positive 9 plus 4x. And then everything gets divided by 3. So y is equal to 3 plus 4/3 x. Make sure and leave that as a fraction. Don't change it to a decimal, or it causes just enough error to mess up your graph. You can use your slope and your y-intercept. Y-intercept is 3, so you go up 3. Slope is a positive 4/3, so you go up 4 and over 3. If you don't like doing that, you're not comfortable doing that, since it's an equation, it can go to y equal. Clear everything out. So you would say 3 plus 4 divided by 3x, and you would go to your table, so second graph, and you would pick a couple of good points. I don't like my table. I'm going to tell it to start at 0. So second graph, 0, 3, and 3, 7 look like good points. 0, 3, and 3, 7 are the points I've already used. So then draw a line, cross the entire graph, put arrows on it. Number 9, write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that is parallel to 9x plus 3y equals 6, and it goes through 5, 3. Well, first of all, you got to take this one and get y by itself. So 3y is equal to 6 minus 9x. Everything gets divided by 3. Y is equal to 2 minus 3x. Okay, so what's the slope of this equation? It's what's in front of the x, so negative 3. If I'm parallel, I'm going to have the same slope. So I'm using a slope of negative 3 and the 0.53. So 3 is equal to the slope of negative 3 times x is 5 plus b. So 3 is equal to negative 15 plus b. Bring your negative 15 over and add it, and 18 is equal to b. So using the b we found and the slope they gave us, y is equal to negative 3x plus 18 is the final answer. Probably the longest problem you'll have right there. Going to the next page, looking at number 10, write equation of a line in slope-intercept form that is perpendicular. Of course, I had to prove myself wrong. Perpendicular is a little bit longer than parallel, so this is probably the longest one on the test. First of all, you got to get y by itself. So negative y is equal to 12 minus 4x. I can't have a negative y, so change everything. Y is equal to negative 12 plus 4x. All right, the slope of this is the number in front of x, which is 4. But if I'm perpendicular, I have to change the sign, and I have to flip the fraction. So the slope that I'm going to use, instead of positive, has to be negative, and instead of 4 over 1 is 1 over 4. So now use your point and the slope that we just figured out. So 2 is equal to negative 1/4 times 8 plus b. So 2 is equal to negative and 1/4 times 8. You can just do it in your calculator. You're going to get negative 2 plus b. Bring your negative 2 over and add it. 4 is equal to b. So y is equal to negative 1/4 x plus 4 is your answer. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. We haven't talked about that in a while. Remember, you add your x's divided by 2, you add your y's divided by 2. So negative 2 plus 3 is equal to 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0.5 is your x. 14 plus negative 9 is equal to 5 divided by 2 is 2.5 is your y value. For number 12, if you're finding the missing endpoint if one endpoint is negative 7, 3 and the midpoint is negative 3, 0. So you're going to say 0 minus 3 equals negative 3. This was 0 minus 3. And then you take what you get and add it back to that midpoint. So 0 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 3. That is your y value that I did first. Then you're going to say negative 3 minus negative 7 is equal to 4. So negative 3 plus 4 is equal to 1, and that is your new x value. And so your other endpoint is 1, negative 3. Number 13, if you have y is greater than x minus 5, will it be solid or dotted line? Dotted is the same thing as a dashed line. There is no line under there, and so yes, it's dashed. Will you shade above or below? If you were to take this and make it have a line into it, turn it into an arrow, it's pointing away from the y, therefore you shade above. Number 14, graph y is less than 2x minus 3. You could put all of this in at y1, go to your table and get 2 points. That's fine. If you prefer to use your slope and your y-intercept, I'm good with that too. Negative 3 means you go down 3. Slope is 2 over 1, so you go up 2 and over 1. Once again, you could put that at y equal, look at your table, and get 2 good points. It is dashed because there is no line. And you're going to shade below because it points to. To figure out your below, put your pencil on the line and go down. That is the below side. Going to the next page, you discover that that's the end of the review. So the exam will be the next class period. If you have any questions, you need to call me over. We need to make sure you understand everything that's going on. If you owe me any work, you need to get that taken care of as soon as possible.